become politicized. Is it fair to assume that the science of climatology has been politicized in academia, as has the rest of academia?
Well, absolutely, but even it's more than political. It's become a kind of religion. The essence of a scientific theory is that you can, in principle, refute it with empirical evidence. Otherwise, it's religion. It's a belief. And whatever happens, whether it's cold or warm, whether it's a flood or drought, whether it's pestilence or locust or any of the plagues, it's always climate change. So if it proves everything, it proves nothing. It's sort of the essence of the denial of scientific rigor. And, you know, we've now heard over the last week yet another example. Apart from the drought in the west, is this snowmageddon in the east. 8 inches of snow in the east coast. I've got an explanation. That's not climate change. It's called winter. And it happens every year. It's happened every year for a long time. And to me, it's just plain cynicism to seize upon any event and then to use it as an example of a theory, which is not a way to prove it. And this $1 billion, this attenuation fund, it is going to be exactly like the money that was spent on green energy. It is a slush fund for crony capitalism that will go to favored individuals and companies. It's going to apparently ameliorate the damage from natural events caused by climate change. Well, which drought is climate change? Which flood is climate change? There's no way to adjudicate that. It'll be political, as Juan was saying. The essence of this political, and ultimately it will be corrupt.
You described believers as looking at this as religion. Michael Crichton, the great novelist, wrote about this very, very eloquently, describing it how there's an initial Eden, a paradise, a state of grace and unity with nature. Then we fall from grace by virtue of taking a bite of the forbidden fruit technology, and we fall into pollution and all seek redemption because Judgment Day is coming. You want to tackle that, Ron? I mean,
well, I don't know how I think Michael Crichton actually became a doubter, and Michael Crichton
and was ostracized because of that in Hollywood.
Well, I don't know about that part, but I know that he became a doubter, as Doug was just reading. And my sense is that Michael Crichton was questioning the whole idea because there is such an overwhelming judgment by the scientific community. Today I was noticing
that gets to the point of funding, because critics say it's only because they're getting the funding.
I just don't believe. I mean, look, look, I think funding is a big issue these days in a period of austerity in general. But 97%, that's what the National Academy. That's not made up. It's what the government says. It's not political. That's what 97% of climate scientists say. We are experiencing global climate change.
Done?
I don't know
no such survey.
There is this National Academy of Sciences.
There's no such survey. There's no such survey. The California example out here is actually very interesting, because what you have is a government that's, because of the Endangered Species Act, has turned off pumps that send water from the Sacramento Delta down south and help provide water for the rest of California. Those pumps have been in effect, I mean, sort of on and off a little bit, but basically turned off since 2007. In 2010, it was one of the wettest years on record in California. That water that would have been captured in 2010 could have continued to provide water to California for those intervening years and continuing to this day, and we wouldn't be looking at this as a kind of crisis that it may turn into. And they're doing this to protect this delta smelt, and all in the name of protecting this small little bait fish. They've in effect redone California and its water. And I spoke with Congressman Devin Nunes before I came on tonight, and he said that the government kills more smelt looking for smelt than the pumps kill.
And there's also water
putting the water
to try to recreate new places for salmon, which is their ancestral homeland. Apparently, there's some rivers in Northern California. More water being diverted, Charles.
Look, in the end, all the remedies that they talk about, Obama and the others, especially the EPA, wants to shut down U.S. coal because it puts carbon in the atmosphere, is utterly useless. The United States is 6% of the population of the world, with India and China and the other tigers in the third world developing, spewing carbon into the atmosphere. No matter what is done here, it will have zero effect on climate. And that's why even if you accept all the climate science, all of it, there is nothing that we can do unilaterally in the U.S. other than destroy our own economy.